I'm in Bok Tower Gardens, and it's a lovely day, not too bright, and it's not raining, so that's good. So, here we are again. I'm talking to you. Once again, I don't know where to start because it's such a strange thing to talk about. Okay, so this video is going to be about sparks of light and my art and my path. I guess that's a good overview. So let's get into it. Okay. So as far back as I can remember, I've been an artist. That's just my gift. I like to say that it's my gift that I was given. I was given the gift of being able to see things and a need to show people. Like even, so I have these, back in the day, we had disposable cameras, and these were just little devices that we threw away after using them. But they would just take photos, and then you'd take the film out, or maybe, I don't think you took the film out, I think you just brought the camera to the developers, and they would develop the photos for you, and then they would just throw away the device. Like, they were like really cheap. Well, anyways, I had one, and I was almost done with the roll, but I had like three or four photos left, and I was like, what do I take a picture of? And so I was in my room, sitting on my bed, and I was looking around my room, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a picture of my room, because when I was a kid, I always liked to like rearrange the furniture and move stuff around, and I knew that my room wouldn't be the same, so I was like, I'll just document my room. And so I took pictures of, I was sitting on my bed, and I just went click, 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 like kind of just a little, not 360, but you know, like 90 degrees of my room. And in one of the photos, you can see a bulletin board, and I had completely forgot about this drawing until I looked at the photos, going through the photos like recently. And on the bulletin board is a colored pencil sketch of a dream that I had. Since as long as I can remember, I've had really, really vivid dreams, like to the point where I would wake up and then I'd want to go back to bed because I wanted to go back to the dream. It was just so vivid. Well, anyways, this dream, and I feel like I can go back to it right now. I can see it. It's this, I was a kid when I had this dream, but in the dream, I was an adult, and I was on a boat with a man, and we were just rowing, and it was just such a beautiful scene. It felt like a memory from another life. And when I woke up, I was like, I wanted to be back in that dream. And so I took out my colored pencils and I started drawing it, and then I put it up on my bulletin board. So how does that connect to what I'm going to talk about? Let's see. I'm an artist. That's just what I am. I've tried to do other things. Trust me, I've tried. like when I was at, I don't want to go out of order in chronological order. Okay, so as a kid, as an artist, went through some shit. Ooh, religion. I need to talk about religion too. That's part of the point. So I grew up in a church. I went to Sunday school, and I was instilled with morals, and I learned the lessons of the Bible. But when I went through my traumatic event as a child, I started to question, like, what's even the point of it? Like, the people around me felt like hypocrites, and like people weren't really living the teachings of the Bible. And so I felt like this disconnect between religion and my life. And so I kind of started to like be like, I don't want to go to church anymore. I stepped away from it, and I was like, it wasn't benefiting me. And so I let go of it. And then in my 20s, I was like, I guess I'm atheist. But then I saw the atheist people, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm atheist. Maybe I'm agnostic. And so I just decided I was agnostic because I believed there was something. I just didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what to believe, but I didn't want to believe in nothing. So I was like, okay, I'm agnostic. There's a little hummingbird over there. Okay, anyway, I get distracted by birds. Okay, so throughout my 20s, agnostic. I hated myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in anything. And that's just how it was. And then I knew I was an artist, and I knew I wanted to do art. But I didn't know what path to take or if it was even valuable, you know? So anyways, well, I've been talking for 6 minutes, jeez. Okay. So I didn't know what to do, and there's all these people talking that don't be an artist because you're not going to make a living at it, and you know money's important. The wildlife here is so funny. Okay. Yeah, so there's this belief that, you know, you're not going to make money, you're going to be a starving artist. And so I got my AA degree, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And so it was suggested me to go into actuarial science because you can make a lot of money, and then you can just do art on the side. And at the time I was like, I mean, that sounds fine. I could do that. And so I spent a few years studying statistics in college, like a university. And I was like, I felt like, you know, it was a good challenge, you know, and I benefited from it because my entire life I never really valued myself. I always thought I was dumb, and I was only doing art because I couldn't do anything else. But going through that degree and challenging myself in that way made me feel like, wow, hey, I am smart, you know, like I can do anything. And so anyways, the sparks of light. Okay. So I was taking a class that was very, very difficult, and there was a really important test that I needed to pass, and I studied really hard for it, and I thought I understood all the concepts. But the test was very, very challenging, and I got a D on it, and I needed to pass, but I didn't. And I was so upset with myself. And the math building that the class was in was a pretty small building, but everyone goes down the main staircase out of the classroom, and everyone just follows that path, and they go out and do their life. But I was so upset. I didn't want to be around anyone, and I just needed to be alone and cry because I was so upset. And so I went off to the right where there's a side stairwell that like hardly anyone goes down. And so I went down there, and then like one person followed me, and they passed me, and I just stood on the stairs, and I sat down on the stairs, and there was this big window to the right, and I was just looking out the window, wondering how I got here. And why I was here, and what was the point. Like, I had this thought. I thought, if I'm gonna fail, I might as well fail at something I love. And in that moment, that realization that I wanted to do art, and that I would rather do art than anything else, these sparks of light appeared. And they were huge, huge sparks of light just flying around. And I know it sounds crazy. I thought I was going crazy in the moment. Like I was like, I sat there in disbelief, like, what the hell is this thing? And I was like, okay, I must be going crazy. When I went home, I wrote on my calendar the date, because I was like, okay, if I'm truly going crazy, I need to document this day so that if I ever end up in an institution, I can be like, okay, this is the date that it started. This was the day. I don't remember the day, but I took a picture of it and somewhere. And I wrote on the day, hallucination, because I was like, that's what it is. It's a hallucination. But it it was real. It was real. But I didn't want to believe it, because like, what the hell would that mean? So I pretended like it didn't exist, and I didn't tell anyone, and I wrote it on the day so that I could be like, okay, I'll remember that. And then I just went about my life, and I was like, I kept denying my artistic urges, and graduated and got a job, worked in an office. And then eventually, the day that I got my job, actually, I found out that my grandfather had died. And in that moment, I was like, shit, what's anything worth? And so, here I go, crying again. So I told myself, like, okay, I'm gonna work this job, I'm gonna make some money, and I'm gonna do art, even still. I feel like this video is not very exciting. There I go, talking negative. Okay, let's jazz it up a little bit. Yeah, so eventually I started to pursue art, and one of the first paintings that I made with oil paint, when I decided, a few years later that, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to painting. And I have a lot that I owe to this one particular artist who really is very encouraging. Her name is Erin Hansen. I've been following her career for like over 10 years maybe, and she's amazing. Like, she's very encouraging to artists, and she, shows people her secrets, even though they're not really secrets. They're just a method to create the art that you want to create. But I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And so I've started to paint the sparks of light, and they've appeared to me I hear people coming. Oh well. So they've appeared to me in moments mainly of meditation. Like, if I'm meditating before I paint, I can still see them. I can see little tiny sparks of light. And I usually have to be by myself in order to see them, because when I'm seeing them, I feel like my face looks crazy, and I can feel people watching me and judging me. And so it takes me out of the moment and seeing it. And another time that I saw them really big was I was quitting my most recent job. Well, my second most recent job. And I was really not wanting to work there anymore. And I was like, I hadn't painted in a long time. And I was like, I don't know if this is right, if I should quit or not. And the sparks of light appeared again. And it's almost like they let me know that it's okay. Because this is my gift. My gift is my art. And if that's all I'm here for, is to make art and show people the beauty of the world and to spread love, then you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. I will gladly be an artist if that's my job, to spread this beauty. And since I've dedicated myself to creating more art and doing art festivals this year, which I've always wanted to do, like, it's been such a gift to meet people and to see their reactions, and I feel like I do have an impact on people, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, because the alternative wasn't for me. And it's kind of funny because even when I was working in an office and I wasn't making art and I was just drudging along, there was I was doing well at the job, and on my calendar, the assistant to the CEO put on my calendar CEO roundtable, and I feel like I'm bragging now, but for some reason they wanted me to be part of some kind of meeting. And the day before the meeting, I got a really bad toothache, and it turned out that my molars needed to come out. And so it was so painful, I could not even think. And so I scheduled a dentist appointment, like a last minute dentist appointment, to get my teeth pulled because I was in so much pain. And it happened on the day that the CEO roundtable was supposed to happen. And it's almost like my body was like, I don't think that path is for you. Like, who knows what could have happened during that meeting. I tried to like email them afterwards, like, hey, I had an emergency, but who knows what went on during that meeting or what could have happened if I had gone down that path, if my body hadn't interrupted that path, you know? And so here I am doing the art thing. And no one can convince me to do otherwise. At least not until a new path is put before me. Because I feel like this was what I was meant to do. So this is what I'm gonna do. Deal with it. That's partly to my family. Because I know it's confusing that I pursued statistics and like, you know, I was like, I'm gonna earn a lot of money and it's gonna be great. And I know they had a lot of expectations, and to see me struggle as an artist is hard to see, but I'm not struggling. It doesn't feel like a struggle. It feels like a gift to be able to do what I'm doing. And I just know that it's going to work out because I trust the sparks of light, whatever they represent, whether they're God or my spirit guides or who knows what those are. I feel like I'm on the right path finally. And I get gifts every day that show me that. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy watching me go along my journeys, and I hope you enjoy my art because I put my whole soul into everything I make. And yeah, that's it. Have a lovely day. I love you. Once again, I love you. Bye.